So for the first time, Vanguard Tactics needs you. We need your help. We need your support. Hey, I'm Stephen Box from Vanguard Tactics, and thank you so much for taking the time to find out more about our MVP campaign and our potential brand new studio. So I thought it'd be best to start at the very beginning of maybe why I formed Vanguard Tactics in the first place. And for me, it stemmed from a pretty dark place, actually. A place when I wasn't particularly happy, and I ultimately found Wargaming to be the kind of shining light for me to really help me out of that dark place. And through that, I sort of found what came to be an amazing community, a fantastic game, and it really formed a passion and a positivity for something that I've never quite found anything like before. And that was kind of why I started the YouTube channel, to share that experience that I was having with other people, to help form a community around me so that I could grow and improve and also hopefully help some other people along the way. One of the biggest things that I found really challenging when I first got into the game was how overwhelmingly complex it was. Now, once I spent some time and energy and effort to figure out some of the tricks of the trade and ultimately learn the craft of playing the game, the next biggest challenge, which I never even considered would be one, would be the stigma around competitive play. And as somebody that's always competed in previous different avenues or sports, I found that it was looked upon in such a toxic, negative way, that the thought of going to a competition wouldn't be something that was exciting, something that was actually sort of frowned upon. And I wanted to see if I could change that perception. So 5 years ago, my first video was all about my time going to a tournament, and I wanted to share that. The experience I had in just creating my army list, to playing those different games, meeting different people, and I wanted to share that with the community. And ever since then, I've tried to make it my mission to help improve not just the gaming aspect, but more importantly, the attitude towards gaming, to help people be amazing opponents when they get to the table. And over the years, with all the content that we've created, the team that we have all absolutely took that on board and made that their number one priority. If you're watching this, then you followed our work, and it's something that you also truly believe in as well, is that being a great opponent is much better than trying to win or lose a game. That really will be the long-lasting story of Vanguard Tactics, is how hopefully we change the identity of wargaming to be one that's inclusive, supportive, one that triumphs, one that really puts the emphasis on sportsmanship rather than just the winning. I think one of the biggest successes of Vanguard Tactics was actually one of those first videos that I ever made, which was my opponent and his yellow card. And this video was something that I never intended to make, and it was only in reaction to some of the experiences that I actually had at a tournament where I was tired of people focusing on winning by any means necessary rather than just trying to be the best strategist or tactician at the table. And I wanted to make a change, not in a personal way. It was no attack against that person that I played. The focus was simply on how do we, as a community, do better? What infrastructures do we need to have in place to ensure that people are empowered to go to a tournament, knowing that the judges, the rules team, and everything else, the infrastructure supports players that play with the right intentions, in that those players that don't also have some sort of repercussions, to give them the chance of taking responsibility for their behavior and actions. And we're not all perfect, and that's absolutely fine. And I never imagine that everybody will be perfect, and there's not even a perfect game of 40K that's probably ever been played. But taking ownership of your mistakes is so important, not just in wargaming, but in everything that we do in life. And I think there's so many parallels between what actually happens at the tabletop, where there's potential conflict, there's communication, to the real world. And I think I would love to see more people take responsibilities for their actions. And that was what that video was really about, was how can we look at the successes of sports like rugby, where players don't argue with the ref. They take the ruling as it is and they get on with the game. And that's most importantly how we should move forward as a community. So ever since that video, that's kind of been my mission, is to help steer the community in a way that I can, whether it's working with companies like Frontline Gaming or Games Workshop, whatever was needed to help the community feel like they could compete in a fair and meaningful way. And I'd really hope that many people have enjoyed that experience much more now because of that video and the work that we've done. So when I published that video, my inbox was flooded with messages, and it was the most unproductive week of my life, where I spent all of that week replying to comments on YouTube, answering emails, messaging people back on Facebook or Instagram that had had similar experiences, and I was overwhelmed by the reaction of the community. And I think for me, it would really show to me that there was something that needed to be done, in that after that period of time, I was on podcasts and consulted for different companies in the way that we could move forward as a community to help steer us in the right direction. And by no means was it going to be an easy fix or even a short term. It was going to be a long-term solution that needed to be put into place. And I think for me, it's probably the greatest success of Vanguard Tactics is what we've done in the community. Regardless of all the videos that we've made and battle reports we filmed, all of that has been super fun and enjoyable, and hopefully we've helped many people actually feel like they can play the game. And I think there's a huge amount to be said for that feeling of welcome and a feeling of, hey, I can do this, to not feel like you're out of place or this isn't a part for you, because in the wargaming community there was often a feeling of gatekeeping, which essentially means people putting up barriers to keep it their hobby and not let people in. Whereas I really feel like this community should open up the doors to so many different types of people so that we can enjoy playing games with each other, and ultimately the more people that play this hobby, the better it will be for everybody. The better events that we'll have, the better content we'll get to watch, the more products we'll have to purchase, and overall, the more things that we can enjoy. Because the more popular this game becomes, the less stigma will be around the game. As a teenager, I couldn't even talk about what I did for the fear of being bullied or the threat that I might have some sort of negative connotation towards me. I want to change that and be super proud of this hobby that I'm in, this super niche, weird little fantasy game in the far, far future. I want more people to know about that, and also to be proud that they do that as well. And I've spoke about this at length at Comic-Con, on videos in the past, about how when I came out to be a wargamer, that it really changed my life to be so much better, because this game has so much power to improve your mental health, whether it's relaxing in painting or helping somebody else play the game or just enjoying the time with some friends. And actually the game is the less important part. The more impactful, significant thing is the time you get to spend with the person on the other side of the table, laughing and joking, sharing memories, figuring out weird rule equations. And that is the most important aspect, is the people you meet, the friends you make. And I can honestly say that I've made some of the best friends that I've ever experienced in my life because of this community. And I owe so, so much to it. I really do. I don't know what I would do without it. I think on the surface, I come across as quite a confident, outgoing person, but I can honestly say I've never been quite as overwhelmed as I am now. This has possibly been the hardest decision I've ever had to make. The commitment to this place and the commitment to what I want to achieve is scary, tiring, overwhelming, and the potential here is quite enormous. I think this place could really form the legacy of Vanguard Tactics, because I really want to leave this community in a better place that I found it. I want to be able to help the next generation of people to come through the doors so that they can have a center of excellence where they understand that being a great opponent is much more important than winning games. But we can utilize this amazing game that we have to really help us achieve that. So hopefully over the last 4 to 5 years, you've all valued somewhat for the content that I've put out. So this might be the first time that I'm asking for your help. I need you, and I need you to become an MVP, the most valuable player to Vanguard Tactics. And This campaign will allow you to support us to continue our dreams and ambitions to hopefully make this place a reality, where we can have the most state-of-the-art filming studio so that we can improve the content that we put out to reach more people, so that we can help other companies and businesses also do exactly the same, to speak to their audience and their customers in a way that is authentic and that really helps promote the hobby, whether they are a painting company or an events business. It really doesn't matter. We just want to see this entire industry flourish because we want more people to play, more people to start to learn, and more people to feel welcome. And I need your help to do that. So that brings me on to the next bit, is how you can become a most valuable player for Vanguard Tactics. So what is the MVP campaign? Well, it's your opportunity to become a most valuable player for Vanguard Tactics, to be part of our next story, to continue what we've already done and really shape the future of what wargaming really could look like. So with the state-of-the-art studio, it also allows us to do one more thing, and that is to create the most incredible wargaming space, where we'll be able to hold workshops here on this very floor to help you improve your game of Warhammer 40,000 or any other tabletop game that you enjoy. We'll be able to host small tournaments, workshops, seminars, masterclasses, whether you're an airbrush painter, a miniature painter, or you want to improve your gaming experience. That is something that we hopefully will be able to achieve with your help, is to turn this place into our very own Centre of Excellence. So in our Centre of Excellence, we'll be able to give something back. And that is the most important thing for us, is to utilize everything and all of the support that you give us to basically give back to the community over time. We want to be able to produce some of the best content that there is on wargaming, to make it so much more accessible, enjoyable, entertaining, and educational, whether it's debates, podcasts, battle reports, live streams, or even hobby videos. We want to be able to provide that for everybody. But then most importantly, we'll have this space, a place where we can build a community, have you come to here so that we can really, really connect, where we can play games across the table from each other, host incredible tournaments with the best terrain, the best mats, in the best environment possible for wargaming. So if you want to support us and you want to become an MVP for Vanguard Tactics, then it's really simple. We're going to have a landing page where you can head to donate whatever amount that you wish you would like to in order to support us. And all of those different tiers and options are going to give you some incredible, exclusive, and very, very fun experiences. Whether they're small little pin badges to complete sets of Vanguard Tactics MVP merchandise, right the way up to the most extravagant experiences that you could possibly imagine. We want to make sure that every single person back home is catered for in some way. And no matter what you can support, every single little part is appreciated. It's all going to go a very, very long, long way to turn this place into hopefully my team's dreams and ambitions. We want to be able to expand. We want to bring on more team members to be able to produce the content that we want. But most importantly, we need to get this place fit for purpose. Right now, this is an empty shell, but we need your help to make this a home. So we need a mezzanine, a full level. We need to be able to turn this space into gaming tables, terrain, and mats. And we need upstairs that's soundproofed, air-conditioned, and absolutely everything else, where there's a nice coffee machine for you to come and enjoy, sit down and talk with your friends, discuss the latest codexes. So no matter what's happening, we want this to be the place to be. So if you want to support us, if you want to become an MVP for Vanguard Tactics, then it's really simple. We've got loads of options for you to get involved with. Go to the page and find all the different ways that you can donate at any amount that you feel comfortable with. And we're going to give you some really exclusive, incredible gifts to say thank you for your very kind generosity. Once you've done that, we'll keep you updated with the progress of this place. I'll be documenting the build, the stories, the blood, the tears, and everything in between that goes into actually creating the space that we really want. And if you do choose to support us, then thank you so, so much for your kind generosity. And if you've watched us so far and don't feel like you're in a position where you can support us, A share, a comment, whatever it might be, telling the people in the community about what we're trying to do is equally as valuable as a donation. So thank you so much for getting this far into the video, and we really hope that we can pull off this incredible vision together, and we won't be able to do this without your support.